present a screen here. Come across these data link layer design issues. Okay, so it is going to already I had discussed you that always lower layers provide services to its upper layers. So that means data link layer is going to provide service to its upper layer. Its upper layer means which one is the upper layer? You please unmute yourself and tell me the answer.
Network layer.
Okay, so data link layer, upper layer is network layer. So always lower layers provide services to its upper layers. That means here it provides services to the network layer because data link layer is the lower layer to the network layer. And one more design issue is dealing with transmission errors. So already I have told you that the main functionality of our data link layer is to find out the transmission errors. That means you are sending your data from sender to receiver means you have to check whether your data is correctly transmitting to receiver or any errors are happening. So that is going to be looked after by the data link layers of both sender and receiver. Now the one more is regulating the flow of data. This is also one more design issue, the service of data link layer. So that means already I have told you the regulating flow of data, nothing but speed is going to be controlled. So why? What is the necessity of regulating the speed of the data? That also we'll discuss in the next coming slides. Now, last class we have discussion about these topics. You just I had discussed with this diagram also that so in network layer the data will be in the form of
Packets, man.
okay. Now when it is coming from sender side, okay, the data comes to network layer from which layer? Sender side.
From network layer to
Okay. To network layer, the data comes from which layer?
data link layer, man.
No, from sender side, just see this diagram. For example, this is network layer. I am asking the data, how it is coming to this network layer. From which layer it is coming to this network layer?
Transport layer.
That's my question. Okay. So that means from center side, the data comes from upper layer to the lower layers. And at receiver side, it moves from lower layers to the upper layers. Okay. You have to remember this point very well. So already I have told you that the data in network layer will be in the form of packets. Now, this data packets, when it moves from network layer to the data link layer, they are converted to frames. They are converted to frames. So that means each and every packet is going to be divided into some number of frames. Now, this frame is containing three fields here. This is the structure of a frame. Frame contains how many fields? Three fields. Okay. Header field, payload field, trailer field. Always remember that header field contains the address of both sender and receiver. So we call them as source address and destination address. And payload field always holds with the data or information or message what you are sending to the receiver. And coming for the third field, trailer. This trailer will hold the information about the next frame related to particular packet. Got my point? So what I told, the packet coming from network layer is divided into frames. For example, one packet is coming from network layer. That packet have been divided into 5 frames depending upon the size. Okay, 5 frames. At that time, this is the first frame. Then, how many frames are left over related to this packet? How many frames are present still? From 5, this is the first frame. Remaining, how many frames are there?
4, madam.
4 frames are right. So, this trailer will hold the information that this is the first frame and second, third, fourth frames are in the queue. Okay, that information is going to be present in this frame. At that time, you may have a doubt why we need this information. When this frame moves to receiver, the receiver will check the address. From which field it will check the address, ma? A field onto the address information. అడ్రస్ అడ్రస్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది అంటే హెడర్ ఫీల్డ్ లో ఉంటుంది
Header field.
ఓకే హెడర్ విల్ ఆల్వేస్ హోల్డ్ విత్ సోర్స్ అడ్రస్ అండ్ డెస్టినేషన్ అడ్రస్ ఓకే సోర్స్ అడ్రస్ అంటే ఎవరిది సెండర్స్ అడ్రస్ డెస్టినేషన్ అడ్రస్ అంటే ఎవరిది రిసీవర్స్ అడ్రస్ సో వెన్ ప్యాకెట్ రీచెస్ హియర్ ఇట్ చెక్స్ ది both source address and destination address okay then considers this message and trailer field will be getting some information okay what is that information suppose this is the first frame of the packet it is held with sequence number 1 okay and suppose next second frame third frame fourth frame fifth frame they are on queue so at that time the receiver will consider that oh this is the first frame of the so and so packet so we have to wait for still how many frames 4 frames totally it becomes how many 5 example చెప్తున్నాను మీకు అర్థమవుతుందా నేను చెప్పేది is it clear ma okay listen carefully what I am saying ma it is very very important so what I am saying here is so what I am saying here is each and every frame is going to have how many fields 3 fields header will always hold the information of source address and destination address. Payload field contains the original message. Trailer field will contain the information of the next coming frames and sequence number of present frame. Okay. So with this, what will happen? Just I will give you a simple example. Listen carefully. Suppose you are sending a packet. That packet is here divided into how many frames? 5 frames. And these 5 frames are transmitted and the frame reached first right then we are waiting for remaining frames so how this receiver comes to know that this is the second frame tell me how this receiver will come to know that this is the second frame are you getting my point You have to speak here. Okay.
Based on the address, ma'am.
Based on the address, you cannot know that this is the which frame. Okay. We think. How can you say this is our second unit, ma? Think once. How can you say this is our second unit? Somebody had message based on syllabus. So in the syllabus, you are shown with unit 2 na. అంతేనా కదా యూనిట్ 2 అని ఉంటుంది కదా అక్కడ స్పెసిఫై చేసి ఉంటాం కదా కదా దట్ మీన్స్ based on sequence number. If I mention with F1, that is called as frame 1. If I mention with F2, that is called as frame 2. How we have sequence numbers to any type of data? For example, take your question paper itself. How can you come to know that this is third question? Based on its number. Similarly, the frames are given with some sequence numbers. So based on the sequence number, you are coming to know that this belongs to so and so frame. This belongs to this frame. So at that time, suppose if you are getting with second frame first, the receiver will wait for first frame. Then after sending first frame, you will consider the second frame. So this sequence number will help us in order to send data sequentially to the receiver. So sequence numbers are essential. So this trailer field will hold the information of the sequence. This trailer field will hold the information of sequence number of the frame. Okay, so that is about trailer field. Is it clear to everyone? I think most of you are not in online. Only 1 or 2 people are responding to my questions. So what about remaining people? Today I'll ask some questions, ma. Remember that. So now coming for the next slide. So just see here. So this is the mechanism, right? Now, so totally we have how many designing issues for data link layer means? Tell me the number. You please unmute yourself and tell me the answer when I ask the question. Totally we have how many designing issues of our data link layer? Now here, so this is the same thing that the main job of data link layer is to make the communication on the physical link reliable and efficient. The designing issues, whatever we have discussed so far, that comes here. Now coming for the next one, issues in data link layer. Okay, types of services provided to the network layer. So I have just told you that always lower layers provide services to its upper layers. Is it right or not? So I have said that always lower layers provide services to its upper layers. Now, what functionality it is going to perform? What services the network data link layer is going to provide to its network layer? See here. Unacknowledged connectionless service. acknowledged connectionless service, acknowledged connection oriented service. Right. Now, just we'll see some real time examples for these three types of services. Unacknowledged connectionless service. Second one is acknowledged connectionless service. And third one is acknowledged connection oriented service. And come from bottom. Acknowledged connection oriented service. Acknowledged connection oriented service. So actually, when you send a message from sender to receiver, if it is received by receiver, receiver will send an acknowledgement so that the sender comes to know that the data have been received to the receiver. That is called as acknowledgement. Okay? That is called as acknowledgement. Now, what is this acknowledged connection oriented service? Just think about a phone call. Okay? So when you are calling to your relatives or to your friends regarding any information sharing, that belongs to which type of service? Answer to my question. A phone call, whatever you are speaking with your friends or with your relatives, that comes under which type of service? Nobody knows the answer? So that is called as acknowledged connection oriented service. Why this is called as acknowledged connection oriented service? Connection oriented service. Why? Because when you are speaking with your relatives or with your friends regarding any information, so simultaneously that person is responding to you. So that's why we are calling it as acknowledged connection oriented service. That means both sender and receiver are online and they both are exchanging the information. So you are getting, suppose if you said that hi, the other person will respond you as hello. That means he had listened to your voice and he is responding to you. That means you are getting immediate acknowledgement there. So that's why we are calling it as acknowledged connection oriented service. That is first type. That is the last third type whatever we have in our slides. Now second, see the next one. This is acknowledged connectionless service. So what is this acknowledged connectionless service? Means, for example, you are sending a mail to your friends. You have sent a mail, but you want to know whether your mail have been sent to your friend or not. How you will check, ma? Answer to my question. మీరు ఎలా చెక్ చేసుకుంటారు చెప్పండి? మీరు పంపించిన మెయిల్ మీ ఫ్రెండ్కి రీచ్ అయిందా లేదా? Come on, speak out. నా క్వశ్చన్ అర్థమైందా? So why your phone is not working or why you people are sending messages? Try to unmute yourself and speak. Okay, whatever you are sending that is correct. So you please unmute yourself and tell me the answer. Is there any problem? So, some of you have sent me the answers. Okay, good. How you will come to know that whether your mail have been reached to? that means how can you come to know that your mail have reached to your receiver? That means we'll check in our sent box. Okay, that means here you are getting acknowledgement, but not an immediate response. See here, this is acknowledged only, but it is a connectionless service. Means you are not getting response immediately. Just you are seeing that okay, my mail have been sent to so and so person. That is acknowledgement you are getting, but you are not getting the immediate response from them because it is a connectionless service. That is acknowledged connectionless service. And coming for the first one, unacknowledged connectionless service. Sometimes the situation may be like this. Just the best example for this is when you post a letter to your friends or to your relatives. But nowadays we are not using this mechanism. Just we are using the last two types of services. Either you may call with to your friends or you may send some messages, some mails. Okay, like that we have. But in olden days we have a postal system. So what that postal system is? Just you write a information on a card and write the address and post it in the post box, and it may take 1 week or 5 days or 6 days to reach to your receiver. Sometimes the card may be missed also. This type of service we call it as unacknowledged connectionless service. Why? Because you don't know whether your letter have been received to your receiver or not unless and until he will again write reply letter for you. So in those days we don't have a facility of telephones, anything else. So just simply we have this postal system. If you want to write any information, send any information, we used to have this postal system in the form of letters. Okay. So that is about an acknowledged connectionless service. So totally we have these three types of services. The first one is unacknowledged connectionless service. Second one is acknowledged connectionless service, and acknowledged connection oriented service is our third one. Now coming for framing. So already I have told you framing. You know that the data coming from network layer is converted to frames, right? Similarly, think about receiver side. Answer to my question. Suppose if it is at receiver side, data comes from which layer to data link layer? Which layer to data link layer? Receiver side. Good. It comes from physical layer. Very good. That means the data will be in the form of zeros and ones. That is in the form of bits in physical layer at receiver side. Right? So that means here just observe this. Translation of physical layers raw bits into a larger aggregate or discrete units called frames. This is at sender's receiver side. Receiver side, when data comes from physical layer, it will be in the form of zeros and ones. These zeros and ones are combined and formed it as a frames. Now, here the beginning and ending of data are marked to recognize the frame and used in synchronization. That we will discuss here in the next coming slides. Now see here. What do you mean by synchronization? You must know first this one. What do you mean by synchronization? The receiver must know when the data begins and when it ends. And also receiver should be able to distinguish between each bit in the frame of the data. Okay. So if you continuously send the frames, the receiver must know which is the first frame, which is the second frame, which is the third frame. So that means of course we are using with some sequence numbers, right? Not only that, you must also come to know at what time it has came from sender and it received to receiver at what time. That is called as synchronization. Suppose if time delay is more, sometimes the receiver will not accept your data packet, thinking that it is hacked by some hackers. So that's why this synchronization is an important issue in our data link layer. That means you need to mark the end and beginning of a frame. At the same time should also be mentioned at what time the frame has started from sender, at what time it reached to the receiver. Okay, so that mechanism we call it as synchronization. If both senders and receivers timing is synchronized, then only the data frame is going to be accepted by receiver. If it takes more amount of time to reach, at that time the receiver may feel doubt that if this packet is hacked by any hacker. So sometimes he may reject that packets or frames. Okay, so that is called as synchronization. The timing should be matched. Next, what about the next one? Flow control. It just now I have discussed with you that sending station, if it is sending some data packets, those packets, if it is received by receiver continuously, no problem. If he is not receiving continuously, what will be happening? The packets coming from sender will be waiting in the queue. If it is waiting in the queue, sometimes the packets may be hacked by the hacker. So, how to prevent this? We had a mechanism, we'll discuss it later. So, the best mechanism is buffering. You may have heard about buffer. Na? Buffer means nothing but a temporary storage area. It is also a type of memory, but for temporary storages, we will use this buffer. Okay. So we'll discuss this in the next. See, already I have told you that the data link layer provides three types of services to its network layer, right? See, unacknowledged connectionless service. So see, source sends independent frames to the destination without any acknowledgement. That means we don't know, we don't have exact path, it just transmits the frames to the destination. So it is not a reliable service. Why it is not reliable service? Because you are not getting any acknowledgement. This is unacknowledged. So that's why it is not a reliable service. Now used in the systems where error rate is low. That means this type of service we allow for LANs. Why we allow for LANs? Because if it is a LAN, there may be less chance of happening with errors. So we prefer this unacknowledged connectionless service for our LANs. Okay, that is our first type of service. And what is second type of service means acknowledged connectionless service. Acknowledged connectionless service. Here source or sender sends frames to the destination with an acknowledgement. It is a reliable service. Why? Because you are getting acknowledgement that your frame have been sent. So it is acknowledged. Used in unreliable channels like wireless systems. This service we will use in wireless system. And coming for acknowledged connection oriented service, here both sender and receiver establishes a connection before any data is transferred. The best example is our telephone call. It is the most reliable service. Why? Because you are getting a proper reply acknowledgement from receiver at same time. So this is the best when compared with the above two services. So first one, an acknowledged connectionless service where we don't have any path, anything else, just we send the data frames. We don't know whether it is received to receiver also or not. So it is an unreliable service. Mostly we do this for LANs where the error rate is low. And coming for acknowledged connectionless service, of course it is connectionless, but it has some acknowledgement, so it is a reliable service. We'll use in wireless systems. And coming for acknowledged connection oriented service, In this, before sending data frames, both sender and receiver will establish a connection. Then data transfer is going on. So it is the most reliable service when compared with the above two types. So that is about the three types of services. Is it clear, or if you have any doubts in these three types of services, you can ask me. Any doubts about these three types of services? Or else I'll move for next topic. No doubts? So you don't have any doubts? So just wait for a while. I'll take attendance. Just wait for 5 minutes more. Okay. So we'll see that later. Now, is my voice audible, ma? Okay. So we'll continue the class. So these are some three types of services, and these are the designing issues. So already we have completed these network layer services. Now the second one is what? Framing. Okay, now we should discuss about this framing here. This is the diagram what we have discussed in the last slide. Okay, the next topic here is framing. Okay. So now we should know what is this framing. Okay, that is our today's topic. You just observe carefully. Here DLL stands for data link layer. Data link layer short form, we call it as DLL. DLL translates the physical layer's raw bit streams into discrete units called as frames. So we were thinking about receiver side. So receiver side means the data is coming from physical layer in the form of raw bits. Raw bits means zeros and ones. These are combined together and formed as a frame. Okay, this is first method. That is how you are going to create the frame. How can frame be transmitted so the receiver can detect frame boundaries? That is the question. Okay, you are getting some number of frames, but how receiver will understand that this is so and so frame? Okay, this is second frame, this is the next frame, this is the starting of frame. How he comes to know? To know that we need to mark the start and end of a frame. So to do this, we have these four mechanisms. That is character count, flag byte and byte stuffing, starting and ending flag with byte stuffing, and encoding violations. So these are the four methods what we are using to identify the start and end of a frame at receiver's side, so that the receiver comes to know which is the present frame and which is the next frame, where this frame is beginning and where it is ending. Okay, so DLL, data link layer. So data link layer translates the physical layer's raw bit stream into discrete units called frames. How can frame be transmitted? So the receiver can detect the frame boundary. Means we have some mechanisms here: character count, flag byte with byte stuffing, starting and ending flag with byte stuffing, and encoding violation. Now just observe this diagram. Is the screen visible to you clearly? నేను ఇప్పుడు మీకు షేర్ చేశాను కదా, ఆ స్క్రీన్ మీకు అందరికి విజిబుల్ ఏనా నీట్గా?
Yes, madam.
Just observe carefully here. So, in framing, what is the first technique? Character count. Character count. What is this character count? So, actually, what is the problem with us? మనకున్న ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటి? ఇది సో అండ్ సో ఫ్రేమ్ అని ఎలా ఐడెంటిఫై చేయాలి? ఓకే, ఫ్రేమ్ ఎక్కడ బిగిన్ అయింది, ఎక్కడ స్టార్ట్ అయింది? సో దట్ ఈస్ ద ప్రాబ్లం. సో ఫర్ దట్ పర్పస్ we have one solution that is called as character count method. According to this character count, what we are doing is just observe these frames. For example, here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 frames. Okay, totally we have how many frames? 4 frames. When you see these 4 frames, first frame, see the first frame, the first bit you are going to fill with which number here? Tell me the number. ఇక్కడ number ఎంత?
5.
5. Okay, I think you are busy. You can see this, no problem. 5. What is the meaning of this 5 means? From this bit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These all belongs to frame 1. Clear? So actually when you send data without these numbers continuously like this, the receiver is unable to know which is first frame, which is second frame, which is third frame and which is fourth frame. So that's why what we are doing, the starting of each and every frame is given with a number that is giving you the count, character count, how many characters are present in this frame. So actually it has how many characters? 1, 2, 3, 4 only. But including this, how many? 5. So it is given with number 5, means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Total character count is 5. So frame 1 contains how many characters? Means 5 characters. Similarly, go for frame 2. It is given with which number here? What is the number?
5, ma'am.
Okay. 5 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the frame 2. Given with how many characters? 5 characters. Okay. Next. Go for next. What is the number here?
8, ma'am.
Very good. 8. So including this mark, remember this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is our third frame. Next, what is the next number?
8, ma'am. 8, ma'am.
8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so totally we had here given with 4 frames. So by this, you can come to know that this is the starting of our frame and this is the starting of our second frame. This is the starting of our third frame. This is the starting of our fourth frame. So like that, you are coming to know. But one more thing, remember carefully. Here in the diagram, I am showing you with some colors here. But actually, we don't mention any color here. Okay, we don't have any color. So at that time, what will happen? And this character count method is also going to face with a problem. What is that problem? That we will discuss here. See the second diagram carefully. So already I have told you the starting number indicates what, ma? This indicates what?
Character count.
Character count. So ఇక్కడ నేను 5 ఇచ్చానంటే అర్థం ఏంటి? Frame 1 contains how many characters including this? 5 అని కదా. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is our first frame. Go for second frame. What is the number here shown?
7, madam.
7, okay. 7 means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Actually, this is frame 2. I'll tell you why it is mentioned it as error. I'll tell you later. Just listen carefully. What is the next frame here? Ikkada number enti?
1, ma'am.
1 means what? Only 1 bit is there in a frame? No, this is wrong. Here actually it should be 8. By mistake, an error has happened. In place of 8, it is kept as 7. If it happens like this, what will happen? 1 bit will be missed from second frame. The entire data rounds goes wrong. Okay. So this character count is also having a problem. So that's why this is also affected with a problem. So we are moving to have the next mechanism that we'll discuss it. So this is about the first framing method. What is that first framing method? Character count. Is it clear for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what is happening here means this algorithm, sometimes there may be some transmission error, the data may be garbled. If it happens, the entire frame goes wrong. So actually the second frame is till here. But because it is mentioned here as 7, we consider only 7 bits and we are leaving this. If what the 1 means here, 1 means only 1 bit here, no. It's not our third frame. So actually it is included in a second frame, but we are not considering because of this error. So this may happen sometimes. So that's why we are next moving to our next method. So that next method we'll see here just how to stuff or how to indicate the start and end of a frame. That is a difficulty for us. So for that purpose, if you just observe here, see this diagram, this is our original message. Okay, for example, you are sending some message, this is one frame and this is another frame, and you are included with a flag bit. Flag bit means one extra bit is going to be added here. Okay, so now how you are going to come know that this frame is ending here. For that purpose, we have here added with escape bit. Escape bit. So actually flag bit means what? It is an extra bit mark. So you don't know whether it is included into this frame or to this frame. So that's why you just add escape bit. Suppose if it is added with escape bit before flag means this is the ending of frame, first frame, and this is the starting of second frame. Okay? Like that, we are going to add with some extra bits in order to come to know which is the starting of the first frame and which is the ending of the next frame. Just observe the figure A here. DLE. Okay. STX means start of a text. This is frame A. Again DLE, delete. Next B, next frame, DLE, ETX, end of the text. STX stands for start of the text, ETX stands for the end of the text, means the frames are completed here. So you are mentioning with each and every frame is separated with DLE here. If you see DLE, that you have to think A is completed, next frame is our B, next frame, second frame. So like that, it is going to be stuffed with one DLE, that is a delete. That means it is not included here, just you are going to stuff with some delete extra bit. For what purpose we are stuffing this? In order to differentiate which is the first frame and which is the second frame, you are adding with this extra bits. Okay, and STX stands for start of the text. Okay, last at the end of the last frame you are mentioning with ETX, end of the text. Okay, so you have been here shown with some more data, like see here, by stuffing and stuffing. So when you send your data from upper layers to the second layer, which is called as data link layer will be having what? Header field. This is information field and this is trailer field. So if you are adding with start of a frame with flag and end of the frame with a flag, you come to know that this entire is one frame. When it received to the receiver, what receiver will do? The start of flag symbol, end of a flag symbol is treated that it is the one frame, and the extra bits whatever we are adding in between, that is escape, flag bits, all are unstuffed and only original data is considered, and this original data is transmitted to the upper layers. This is stuffing and unstuffing. Stuffing and unstuffing. Now we will discuss about some stuffing mechanisms. Some stuffing mechanisms. But before that, you must be clear up to this point. Then I will start with the next technique, that is bit stuffing. Okay. So still here, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. No problem. If ever any doubts unte, you can ask me. Now we start our class. I think you don't have any doubts till here. So I'll move for the next mechanism. Shall I start? Okay, good. So now we have this stuffing. See here. So what I have told for you means, so I told just now that we have this framing mechanism. In framing mechanism, we have some character count method, okay, flag bit stuffing, everything else. Now, what is this bit stuffing? So, This technique allows data frames to contain an arbitrary number of bits and allows character codes with an arbitrary number of bits per character. It works like this. So each frame begins and ends with a special bit pattern. Okay, actually, you know that each and every frame is starting with flag bit and ending with flag bit. So let me understand the starting and ending of a flag. See the flag bit. See here, yellow mark is shown with the start and end of a flag bit. But in between the data, whatever you are sending, sometimes you may have some problem in transmitting this type of data. Some errors may happen. So for that purpose, what we are doing is, whenever sender's data link layer is sending a data like this 0 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 1 1 1 1 1, actually like this. Suppose if you are getting 5 consecutive ones in your data. 5 consecutive ones means 5 continuous ones. See here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After 5, once you are stuffed with 0 bit. This is a stuffed bit. This is not original bit mark. After 5 ones, you are stuffing with 0. Next 1, 0, 1. But why we are not stuffing 0 bit here? Because there are no consecutive 5 ones. Suppose if 5 ones are continuously sending, at that time we will use this bit stuffing mechanism. So in this, just observe carefully this bit stuffing. The original data is this mark 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1. See here. After 5 ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are placed here with 0. Okay. And data received by network layer on receiver side, what it will do? Suppose if you are sending continuously 5 ones, automatically the 0 which is getting after 5 ones will be destuffed. And consider the next 1, 0, 1. So this mechanism is called as bit stuffing. దీనినే మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే bit stuffing అంటాము. Just observe some examples here. We send a frame of 2 8-bit characters. These are some 2 8 bits. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. See that here also some 8-bit character. Now, on the line we are sending. The start of a frame is indicated with flag bit. End of frame is indicated with a frame bit. See, this is starting and end flag bit signal. Now character 1 is sending here. See, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones. After 5 ones, it is automatically stuffed with 0 bit. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0. Then remaining 2 ones. This is our character 1. Similarly, character 2, see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, it is stuffed with 0 here. Next 0, 1. Now, this is the flag bit. Sender's rule is what? If 5 ones in data, stuff with a 0. So, receivers, what it will do? Receiver will. So what receiver will do? See here, receiver will get the data. It will destuff here 5 ones. The 0 is eliminated. Here also 5 ones, 0 is eliminated. The receiver's rule is if a 0 occurs after 5 ones, remove it. That is called as destuffing rule. So these mechanisms we call it as bit stuffing. According to bit stuffing method, when you are sending any data, if the data contains continuous 5 ones, you have to stuff with 0 bit. That is the rule for sender. And what is the rule for receiver? If you are receiving continuously 1 bits, the next coming 0 should be destuffed, removed. That is the rule for receiver. So this entire mechanism we will call it as bit stuffing. దీన్ని మనం ఏమంటాము అంటే bit stuffing అంటాం. Any more doubts up to this topic? You can ask me. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. No more doubts? Shall I continue?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that is bit stuffing mark. Okay. So these are some different methods. Now, so what is all these methods we have discussed so far called as framing. Under framing, we will get this. What is our first designing issue? Services provided to the network layer. So under that, we have discussed about 3 types of services: unacknowledged connectionless service, acknowledged connectionless service, acknowledged connection oriented service. After that, we have a discussion on framing. Now, what is one more functionality of our data link layer? Error controlling that means error detection and correction is also the functionality of our data link layer. Now we will see how errors are going to be controlled. Generally, errors are going to be concerned with ensuring that all frames are eventually delivered to a destination. Then there is no problem of happening with errors. So for this purpose, if you want to know whether all frames are correctly reaching to the receiver or not, you must focus on 3 items. First one is acknowledgements, second one is timers, third one is sequence numbers. First one is acknowledgements, second one is timers, third one is sequence numbers. Okay. Now, with these 3 methods or 3 items, how can you control the errors? Okay. Just listen briefly, I'll explain you with the general examples. Error controlling is going to be done with 3 items. First one is acknowledgement, second one is timer, third one is sequence numbers. Suppose you are sending your data and you are getting acknowledgement. Then there will be any trouble to your data? Answer to my question. Is there any trouble to your data when you get your acknowledgement back?
No, ma'am.
No. That means first item is cleared. Suppose you are getting acknowledgement means it is clear that your data is safely reached to the destination. Okay. Second one, timers. So just now I have discussed with you about synchronization. So actually to send a message from sender to receiver, it will take some seconds, actually nanoseconds. But within some seconds you have to get a response. Suppose if you are sending your data now, if it is reached after 10 minutes, that means what? The timer is out. Means it takes more time, so the receiver will not accept your data. Suppose if you are sending your message now, immediately you have been shown with sent message with synchronized timing, then you can say that your data is reached to the receiver. It is accepted by the receiver. That is second item. Third item is what? Sequence numbers. Now just think about yourself how sequence numbers will help us to control the error. చెప్పండి. సీక్వెన్స్ నంబర్స్ వల్ల మనం ఎర్రర్ ఎలా కంట్రోల్ చేయొచ్చు? జనరల్ గా థింక్ చేసి చెప్పండి చూద్దాం మీ ఐడియా ఎలా ఉందో. సీక్వెన్స్ నంబర్స్ చెప్పండి. నో ఐడియా? నో ఐడియానా? ఐడియా ఉందా లేదా? జస్ట్ అని చెప్పండి. Do you have idea about it or not? Just tell me that. Okay. How sequence numbers will help? For example, ఇప్పుడు నేనే ఉన్నాను, మీ క్లాస్ తీసుకున్నాను కదా జస్ట్ నో. Now I will tell you that which person is absent to my class. How can I say that? ఒక్కసారి థింక్ చేయండి, జనరల్ గా థింక్
By
చేయండి.
seeing roll numbers, ma'am.
వెరీ గుడ్. మీ రోల్ నంబర్స్ నాకు ఇక్కడ డిస్ప్లే అవుతాయి కదా. ఇప్పుడు మీరు కూడా చూసారు, గూగుల్ మీట్ అటెండెన్స్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు మీకు షేర్ చేశాను, చూసారు అందరూ ఎలా వస్తున్నాయి నంబర్స్ అందులో? చూసారా? సో విచ్ రోల్ నెంబర్ ఈస్ మిస్సింగ్? ఏ రోల్ నెంబర్ మిస్ అయిందో వారికి ఏమనుకుంటాం నేను ఇక్కడ యాబ్సెంట్ అనుకుంటున్నా లేదా? సిమిలర్లీ ఏ సీక్వెన్స్ నంబర్ ఉన్న ప్యాకెట్ మిస్ అయితే దాని మీనింగ్ ఏమని? దట్ ప్యాకెట్ ఈస్ నాట్ రీచ్ టు ది రిసీవర్. దట్ మీన్స్ one packet or one frame with so and so sequence number is missing. That means some error is happening. Okay, so this is also one of the item. Suppose if sequence numbers of all packets are reached correctly, then what we think that okay, all packets are reached to the receiver safely, so there is no problem of error. So that's why to control the errors we can focus on 3 items. First one is acknowledgements, second one is timers, third one is sequence numbers. Acknowledgements means what? When you send some data, it must be responded. So if it is reached by receiver, immediately you are getting with acknowledgement. If you are getting with acknowledgement means your data packet is reached safely to the receiver. So no problem about error. Coming for timers, if your data is reached to the receiver within time, within synchronization, then there is no problem of rejecting the packet from receiver. So there is no problem for your error happening. That is our second item. Okay. Suppose one more thing you have to observe in timers, ma. Suppose if you are sending your data packet within time and you will be getting acknowledgement. Okay. That means that your packet have been accepted. Suppose if your data packet what you send is received to the receiver lately, at that time he will send you NAC. NAC means negative acknowledgement. Negative acknowledgement means that your data frame is not accepted by receiver. That is the indication for sender. Okay. So with this timers you can come to know about this. And coming for sequence numbers, if the frames are given with some sequence numbers, you come to know which frame is accepted and which frame is missing. So with this you can have error controlling mechanism. So these are the 3 items that are required to control the errors. Okay. So acknowledgements, timers, sequence numbers. Any doubts here? Any doubts, ma'am? Okay, we'll move for next. So what is our next service ఫ్లో కంట్రోల్ అని చెప్పాను, గుర్తుందా మీకు? ఫ్లో కంట్రోల్. See here. Flow control deals with throttling the speed of sender to match that of the receiver. Okay. Flow control అంటున్నాను నేను. So what do you mean by this flow control? That I have to explain you clearly. Just listen carefully. First we'll consider some normal example. For example, I am teaching you a class. Through online mode I am teaching and you people are also listening to my class. I have taken 2 hours, right? I had completed entire unit 1 or unit 2 today. Can you people get all the topics whatever I have explained in these 2 hours? I completed total second unit today. Can you get it? Come on, answer to my question.
No, ma'am.
No, right? That is, flow is heavy. Now I am sender, you people are receivers. అలాగే గుర్తుపెట్టుకోండి, ఎగ్జామ్ ఇట్లాగే చెప్తాను మీకు. నేను ఎవరు? సెండర్ని, మీరు రిసీవర్స్. ఓకే. If I have taken 2 hours of time and I completed entire second unit, can you people get the concept clearly? No, it's impossible. Okay, that is called as that is flow. Now how to control the flow? That means we have 2 methods, 2 approaches: feedback based flow control and rate based flow control. Okay, rate based flow control. First come for feedback based flow control. The receiver sends back information to the sender, giving it permission to send more data or at least telling the sender how the receiver is doing. Okay. For example, just now I have told you that I had completed the entire unit and I asked you have any doubts. Then you people can give me a feedback. What is that? Madam, you are too fast. So you please slow down. So that means at that time the problem is in whom? ఇప్పుడు ఈ మెథడ్ ప్రకారం ప్రాబ్లం ఎవరిలో ఉన్నట్టు? Come on, answer.
Sender, ma'am.
Sender కదా? Okay. Now you people belongs to which category?
Receiver.
Very good. Wait. So in the first method, whose mistake is here? Sender's mistake. That means suppose my mistake, because I have completed entire unit. So it is the wrong step. So people are not getting. That is one method of flow control. That means if you people inform me, I have to slow down. నేను చేయాలి? స్లో చేసుకోవాలి. సెకండ్ ఏంటంటే రేట్ బేస్డ్ ఫ్లో కంట్రోల్ అంటాం. రేట్ బేస్డ్ ఫ్లో కంట్రోల్. Okay. Now listen carefully, don't get confused. According to rate based flow control, we will check the sender. So what we will do? Suppose if I am taking 2 hours of time, I have completed 2 topics, only 2 topics from particular unit. At that time, I am in limit. I am doing my work within limit. But even though I am completing 2 topics in these 2 hours, but you people are not getting means. Now problem is at which side? Tell me.
Receiver.
Very
Receiver
good.
side,
The
ma'am.
problem is at receiver side. So we have to check this flow control in 2 ways: from sender side and from receiver side. Suppose if problem is at sender side, we have to give feedback to the sender to slow down. Suppose according to rate based flow control, we have checked. Okay, sender is sending data packets normally within the limit, but receivers are not receiving. That means the problem is at which persons? Receivers. Now the receiver's processor has to be changed. Now here receiver means not any people, any machines here. So what we have to do? We have to change the process of the receiver. Okay, so this is called as flow control. So if the flow control is, if a flow is a problem for us, we have to check both at sender side as well as at receiver side. Suppose if problem is at sender side, we have to control the sender to slow down the process. Suppose if sender is sending correctly, but receiver is not receiving, the problem is at receiver side. So receiver's processor has to be changed. So that is called as feedback based flow control and rate based flow control. Clear? Any more doubts? అర్థమైందా మీకు?
No doubt.
Okay. So till here today we'll discuss up to this flow control. Again I'll ask some questions for the next class. Okay. Please be ready and now I won't continue the next topic. So if it goes on, you people may feel difficulty. So the next topics are very, very important. The types of errors. Okay, we'll use some methods here, Hamming code method, parity bit. So very, very important for gate questions also. Okay, we'll discuss that in the next coming class. Till here, if you people have any doubts, you can share your doubts with me so that I can clear your doubts. We have still time. So if you have any doubts, you can ask me. Anybody? Any doubts there? Suppose if you don't have any doubts, you can leave the class. And reminding people, those who have doubts, you please stay online and you can ask me. I'll clarify your doubts. Reminding people, you can leave the class now if you don't have any doubts. Okay, timers. Somebody is asking me a doubt regarding timers. Very good. Listen carefully. So actually, what is for example, timers will check on the For example, if you are a offline and when you are coming to college and when you come for college, your class timing is at 9 o'clock, for example. If you come to class by 9:20, will I allow you to enter into the class? నేను మిమ్మల్ని క్లాస్లోకి అలౌ చేస్తాను 9:20కి వస్తే చెప్పండి.
No, madam.
చేయను కదా. అలాగే when you send your packet at one particular time, it has to be reached within the timer. ఆ టైమర్స్ మనం ఆన్ చేస్తామంట. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ సమ్ సెకండ్స్ ఉంటాయి. Within that seconds, if your data is received to the receiver, it will be accepted. Beyond that timer, if timer is out, if you reach that, if any problem is in the middle of the network, if you are late, automatically that packet is not accepted by the receiver. That is called as timers here. అర్థమైంది టైమర్స్? మీరు పంపించిన డేటా ప్యాకెట్ ఒక టైం లోపు రీచ్ అవ్వాలి రిసీవర్. ఆ టైం బియాండ్ వెళ్ళింది అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు టైమర్ అనేది అవుట్ అయిపోయింది. అంటే టైం అయిపోయింది కాబట్టి ఇట్ వోంట్ బి ఎంటర్డ్ ఇన్ టు ది రిసీవర్. దట్ ఈస్ అ టైమర్స్ హియర్. టైమింగ్ అంతే. జస్ట్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఈస్ క్లాస్ టైమింగ్ అనుకో, 9కి అయితే నేను 9:20 క్లాస్ దగ్గరకు వస్తే నేను రాణిస్తాను, రాలేదు కదా. ఐ వోంట్ అలౌ యూ టు ఎంటర్ ఇన్ టు ది క్లాస్. సో లైక్ దట్. Clear? Okay. Good question. How acknowledgement will work, correct? Right. Suppose you have sent one data packet. You are a sender. Immediately you are getting acknowledgement. అక్కడ నుంచి acknowledgement వచ్చింది అనుకోండి. The meaning is what? It is a positive acknowledgement. But time అయిపోయింది. మీరు పంపించిన డేటా ప్యాకెట్ కి నో రిప్లై, నో అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్. దాన్ని ఏమంటాము అంటే నెగటివ్ అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్. Even though the timer is out, but you are not getting acknowledgement back from receiver to sender, that is called as negative acknowledgement. దీన్ని మనం నెగటివ్ అక్నాలెడ్జ్మెంట్ అంటాం. అర్థమైందమ్మా? Okay, still anybody have doubts, you please ask me. Somebody is asking me to explain about character count, right? Okay. So, I'll explain you about character count. Wait now. Just I'll show you the slides. See here. This is our character count. Who is that person? 504. Okay, you please respond to me. So you are shown with some number of characters here. Some frames are sending. So what is this number indicating here? ఈ నెంబర్ ఏంటి? మీకు వ్యూ అవుతోంది అక్కడ? Are you able to see this number? So this is which number? This is actually indicating for 5. What is the meaning of this? This is called as character count. Means this is the starting of a frame, including this bit. Totally the characters are here 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is our first frame with 5 characters. This is called as character count. Means ఒక్కొక్క ఫ్రేమ్ లో ఎన్ని క్యారెక్టర్స్ ఉన్నాయో ఆ క్యారెక్టర్ కౌంట్ మనం ఇక్కడ స్టార్టింగ్ లోనే ఇచ్చేస్తాం. దాన్ని బట్టి మీరు ఒక ఫ్రేమ్ ఇంకొక ఫ్రేమ్ తో డిఫరెన్షియేట్ చేయొచ్చు. ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఇక్కడ 5 ఇచ్చాం కాబట్టి మీరు ఎక్కడ స్టాప్ చేస్తాం? ఫ్రేమ్ 1 4 వరకు స్టాప్ చేస్తాం. And next 5 is not included into this because this is the next frame. కాబట్టి ఇక్కడ 5 ఉందంటే ఏంటి మీనింగ్? అగైన్ ఇంక్లూడింగ్ విత్ దిస్ 1 2 3 4 5. This is our frame 2. నెక్స్ట్ ఏంటి? 8 ఉందంటే ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఎన్ని బిట్స్? 8 బిట్స్ తీసుకుంటే ఫ్రేమ్ 3. 8 ఉందంటే అగైన్ ఇక్కడ నుంచి 8 బిట్స్ తీసుకుంటే 4th ఫ్రేమ్. సో లైక్ దట్. కానీ ఈ క్యారెక్టర్ కౌంట్ లో ఉన్న డిఫెక్ట్ ఏంటి అంటే, ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ దిస్ కౌంట్ ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ హ్యాపెండ్ విత్ ఎనీ ఎర్రర్ in place of 8, for example here it is given with 7 అంటే మీనింగ్ ఏంటి? ఇక్కడ నుంచి 7 బిట్స్ తీసుకున్నా. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. నెక్స్ట్ బిట్ ఏంటి? 1. 1 means what? Only this is 1. Is it character count or any character in the frame? That is wrong. Actually it should be 8 here. అప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? So up to here frame 2. Next frame starts here 2 అంటే 1 2. This is next frame. Next 4 అంటే 1 2 3 4 next frame. 7 అంటే 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 next frame. అలా ఉండాలి. But because of this small error, the entire next frames goes wrong. Okay, so this is the problem in character count and this method is called as character count method. Is it clear? Is it clear? Next, somebody is asking about byte stuffing and stuffing. Just listen carefully. See here, byte stuffing and unstuffing. Every frame starting and ending is filled with frame bits. This is the original data coming from upper layers. This original data is added with header field, escape bits, again escape bit, trailer field in the data link layer. The same is transmitted to data link layer of the receiver. Again starting and ending with same, trailer same. The same data you are sending for receiver. What receiver will do? Receiver will unstuff these escape bits. Okay, just everything, flag bits, trailers, headers, everything will be unstuffed. Only this particular original message is going to be transmitted to the upper layer. So the process of adding extra bit is called as stuffing at sender side, and the process of removing extra bits at receiver side is called as unstuffing. Unstuffing. Clear? Okay, somebody is asking why we need to add extra bits.